Okay, so it's turn one of the latest game of Congo that Pete from Miniwarzone and myself are playing. And today we are playing a scenario called Escalation along the Nziari. And the Nziari is a tributary river of the Congo, which is the boundary, hence the flags, between two areas controlled by rival white men expedition factions. So I am controlling the faction of Dr. Herbert Smut, who is this chap here, who is a scientist, and I've deployed all my groups within short distance of this edge here. The edge is noted by these green tokens, and on the opposite side of the table Pete is playing, is it Gordon Banks? No, I can't use a football. Somebody Banks, yeah. Who is a retired officer, that chap there. And similarly, Peter's deployed all his forces thus. And there is a crocodile. The Nziari is a crocodile-infested river. Michael Banks, right. Now, the idea of the game is that there are three flags and three exit points on each side of the table, and the players have to capture the flags and then leave the table by one of the exit points. But having left by an exit point, that exit point is no longer usable, so the other two flags would have to be taken off by the remaining two exit points. And you don't take them off your side of the table, you've got to take them off the opponent's side of the table. So not easily achieved, but if you do manage it, you get 15 victory points. But there are lots of other ways, as we discovered in our last game, that you can score victory points. So I think I'm going to play it that I'm going to kind of try and concentrate on scoring points in other ways, which should become apparent later in the game, such as killing crocodiles, killing enemy groups, finding loot, all that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. Right, end of turn one, and I've made this gallant rush into the river, captured one of the flags.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's been an exchange of fire between my guys and his archers there, Peter's archers. The group with the scientists have entered this terrain. What was it? Venomous plants or something, wasn't it? So they picked up a panic token as a result of that. But they also, the scientists, discovered some loot. So there's now some points to be made from the loot on the table. And other than that, we've just been moving forward. Because there was confusion in the first turn, it meant we drew the cards randomly. So we weren't necessarily able to pick the cards that we would have chosen to play with, but we've managed to make fairly good advance towards the river on both sides. And now in turn two, a downpour has occurred as well.
Yeah.
So that means that ranges for shooting weapons is reduced, and if you have a shooting stress token, you lose 2 dice rather than 1 for each shooting stress token. So shooting is going to be impaired just in turn 2. End of turn 2. That's Peter's adventurers, the two figures surviving, who have managed to capture that flag in the river there. They've had assegais thrown at them from my young warriors, and Peter chose to lose figures rather than to use their reckless rule and pick up stress tokens. And both the other flags are now in my possession. These guys are sort of running away with it, but they've got to get off the opposite table if they want to score points with it. And this flag over here, they're on the run, hopefully towards that exit point there. And other than that, not a lot. The crocodiles didn't come into effect, so nobody eaten by crocodiles as yet. But in the third turn, Peter's going to have to roll for this group here because they're still in the river, so they may get attacked by crocodiles.
Hope not, but hey.
We've got to have some some crocodile action in the game. That panic token can come off now because that's the end of the turn. Right, I managed to chase the adventurers off there, capture the flag. So I'm now in control of all 3 flags, but only one of them is almost at the exit point, almost there, but not quite. And still no crocodiles appearing. Oh, there were, wasn't there?
Yeah, I've had a casualty.
Yeah. No, you won it, didn't you? You won. You won the melee against the crocodiles, so no losses to crocodiles. But at the start of the next turn, which should be turn 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups in the river. So I think there's bound to be a few crocodiles attacking in the next turn.
We hope so.
Yeah. Right, we're at the end of turn 4 now, and I've got 1 flag off the table, and that means there's only 2 exit points left to me now, and both the other groups are on this side of the river. I'd score points for that, by the way, at the end of the game. 5 points if you're on the enemy's side of the table.
Oh.
Yeah. So I am rolling in points now. I've got so many. Over here, I killed a gorilla. I've got a gorilla pelt. I've got loot. I've got all the flags. I've got 1 flag off the table. Doing really well. Peter's rolling rubbish dice.
Points rich, morally poor.
Yeah. And the gorilla is back on the table.
He is.
I managed to pick him out of the token bag. So I put him on this one here, and at the moment he's threatening Pete's group of archers, who have got 2 movement stress tokens, which means they can't move at the moment, so he's going to
have fun with them.
Yeah, have fun with them. And yeah, basically that's it. Pete's strongest group is doing nothing over here.
Don't remind me.
That's it so far. So there's probably definitely one more turn in which there'll be another downpour of rain, and then a 6th turn when the game can end at any point. So we're approaching the end of the game now. So Pete's going to have to pull something out of the bag.
Not a stress token.
Yeah. Right, we're still in the middle of turn 5 at the moment, but Peter's dice rolling the whole game has been diabolical, to use his own words. And he was desperately... I've got another flag off the table now, and I'm just trying to get this 3rd one off. And he's desperately trying to block my path to escape. And he's just lost this melee by a mass of poor... Even being allowed to re-roll his... Because he's got a retired officer, being allowed to re-roll his 1s, still managed to lose by 3. So I think that we might as well carry on playing till the end, but the game is sort of well and truly lost, isn't it?
Yeah, because you need to retreat now, don't you?
No, you do. I won the melee.
Yeah, but don't we both?
No, not if I'm 3 up on you.
Oh, come on, guys.
No, I think you have to go sort of sideways, but I don't have to do anything other than bask in the glory of my enormous victory. And he's being chewed to bits by the gorilla over here. The gorilla's managed to push these guys, eat 3 of them, and push the other 3 way back over there. It's not going well for me. It's a good scenario, but this is very one-sided, but just through bad luck, really, on your part, I think.
And poor judgment, probably.
Yeah. Right, anyway, we'll give you an update at the end of the turn. Right, so this is the end of turn 5, so there's one more turn, maybe just past the turn to go. Very close to getting these guys off the table. The gorilla leapt out of his lair again, and this time attacked my group because they were closest. They were within S of his lair. It's quite an interesting mechanism with the gorilla. It's different from the lion. That the gorilla rolls 4d6, but it's sort of an exploding dice mechanism. So every time you roll a 6, he gets to roll more dice, and that was the reason he chewed up that group so much, that he kept rolling 6s. But if you manage to shoot him and not kill him, it enrages him, so he then rolls even more d6s. So I quite like that. So we're at the end of turn 5, beginning of turn 6. One more opportunity for the crocodiles to attack this group in the river, and other than that, there's not really much. There's a bit of a whitewash, isn't it, really? Anyway, we'll play it through and see how it goes. Right, okay, so immediately in turn
A
6,
very close game.
very close game, but it ended straight away because Peter rolled oh yeah, the dice is gone, but he rolled a success on a d8 at the beginning of turn 6, and
Yeah.
the game ended immediately. And we've just totted up the points,
And
and
it's such a
so close.
such a fine line.
yeah, it's like QI. He's the Alan Davis of this Congo game. I scored 29 victory points, and Peter scored -2, and that was because he got 2 points for killing a crocodile, but lost 4 points for me killing both of his auxiliaries.
You can see how close that
Yeah,
was.
very close game.
Oh.
No figures left on my side of the table. Everything over there or has got across escaped the table. But other than the fact that I would have liked it to have been closer just to have a game of it.
So
really.
would I.
But it's quite a good scenario, and it's the first time we've ever played a game where the gorilla's actually been in play, and he was actually quite an influence. And also at one stage, this piece of terrain here, Peter moved into it and rolled on the dangerous table and disturbed a kind of, it wasn't a hornet's nest, but they were insects, weren't they?
Yeah.
And everything within short range of that terrain had to flee, whether it was friendly or enemy. So it created a huge kind of vacuum around there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was quite good. And the crocodiles weren't terribly effective. They did manage to kill one person, I think, didn't they? But most of the time they were beaten. But yeah, another good game. Interesting scenario. That's it, isn't it? I think nothing more to say.
Believe
Yeah.
so.
Okay, so thanks very much for watching, everyone. See you again on the next video.